I'm good. I'm good. It's a bit chilly here, like midsummer. Not really.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen
Just
a bit of on the old Instagram of friends back in the UK of lots of rain and wearing jumpers, and I thought,
I know. Yesterday, midsummer, it was cold and rainy, but it's fine. It's fine. The garden desperately needed some rain. I'm just going to bring you up a bit. I'm too low down. Is that all right? Can you see up my nose?
That's all right. No, you're looking good. So, how have you been though through this year and a half? Or it's just become part of life. Well, I don't know when to start.
It is part. Yeah, it's definitely part of life now. I think we're at the stage now where we're sort of kind of. Well, we're still adjusting, aren't we? And now we're adjusting to something new. So in the UK, we're sort of, almost at the point where we might be losing restrictions, which seems absurd in some cases. But, getting back to work and readjusting, it's been exhausting. It's been quite tiring. And a lot of my clients and a lot of friends and colleagues have all said the same. It's just that whole cycle again of like, oh, okay, so now we've got to do stuff.
Yeah, I can imagine. And everything's different now with your treatments, I imagine, and schooling as well.
Yes, absolutely. Well, yes, definitely. Definitely teaching has taken a different turn. So I haven't taught in person since March last year. And if someone had said to me, "Oh, this is going to be a year and a half," and longer, I probably would have done something a little differently. But for me, you can't teach massage over the internet. We all know that, okay? That's a given. But I'm extremely grateful and incredibly impressed by people's, working differently and putting stuff online. And in theory, of course, you can do theory online. That's fantastic. I mean, I've done some training online, and I joined the NAHA IFBAR conference last week, and that was amazing because all these speakers, and you can just sit in your living room and watch. But if you're teaching, for me, massage and the oils, I think they've got to be face to face. You've got to be in the room. It's just, as a therapist, it's so important to have that connection and to be part of it. But good news. So Donna, who teaches with me for my CPD, we've got a course this Saturday. Hey, it's our first one. And so we're back to teaching, and it's an advanced back, neck and shoulder course, which of course everybody wants at the moment. Do my back, do my shoulders. So we're fully booked, which means we've got 6 students and 2 of us, so that's the limit in our classroom. Yeah, and I'm so excited to be teaching again face to face. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So small steps.
Yeah. And have you got another one lined up?
I've got menopause later in the year, and we've also got Indian head massage as well. So I'm really hoping that people will feel a little bit more confident about coming out to do in classroom teaching. I mean, we're still working with PPE this weekend, which is fine because that's what we're all doing for clients. So we'll have all the windows open. So we've adjusted. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Good. Well, I look forward to seeing your updates.
Thank you.
On the social medias, so fingers crossed for you. So I'll backtrack just a second. And it's a question, one of the main questions I ask everyone is just how did you become an aromatherapist? And I know you and I met in about 2014, I think, when you came to Neal's Yard to do
something.
Really? Yeah, I remember.
Wow.
I remember it.
It's that long ago.
Yeah. And then I did a course as well about, I forget now. Well, anyway, but your
one of them
goes, way. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind fill everything in and myself.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, I can't quite believe I've been doing it as long as I've been doing it. So I qualified in 1996, which is such a long time ago. It's like, oh my goodness. So I trained at the Tisserand Institute when it was, again, a college that we went to. But how I got into it, well, I used to work in the theatre. I used to be a stage manager in the theatre. And my flatmate, who my best mate, who's still my best mate, we were living together, and she was massively into oils. She had a burner, and we used to go to Culpeper in Covent Garden and sort of, check out all the oils. And I didn't really know much about it. But as a child growing up, I had a very heightened sense of smell, and I thought everybody had that. I was like, well, yeah, isn't that what everybody's doing? And I sort of have such sort of really strong memories of smells with my mum and our garden, and they were so comforting to me. They were very reassuring, and I obviously didn't understand why. My mum was massively into massage. She used to love going to spas and everything. And I was like, "Oh, this sounds good." So I kind of found the journey sort of through massage, actually. And then when I sort of began to get a bit more sort of interested in the oils through my flatmate, I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then one week at work, I was really poorly. I don't know, really bad cold. Whether it was flu or not, probably not, but just really bad. And our wig mistress on the show I was working on a West End show, she gave me some thyme essential oil. And she said, use this, Jo, put it in your burner, do an inhalation. I couldn't take time off. That's not allowed. The show must go on. No one's allowed to take time off. I felt so poorly. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I could breathe. I felt better. The congestion gone from my head. And I was like, okay. And I was kind of getting to the point in my career in the theatre. I'd been working in the theatre for about 8 or 9 years. And I just kind of knew it didn't quite fit what I wanted. I wanted to have a bit more freedom. It's a very strict timetable theatre. It's also a lot in the evening. So I kind of felt I was missing out on a lot of stuff. So I had the opportunity to train and left my theatre career behind. And and haven't looked back. I mean, I'm just in awe of the fact that I'm able to do something and earn some money and have, and do something I really love. I absolutely love working with the oils. So, yeah. Here I am, wow. 25 years, 20 something years later. How can I be that old? I'm not that old.
No, when you think of it like that, like how time has gone. But that in a way is a good thing, because obviously you've loved what you've done as well. So it hasn't like, oh my God, 20 years of doing something you hate just drags. So.
Yes. I know, and we live in a world where so many people are unfortunately doing jobs that they're not that happy in, and anyway, that's a subject for a different chat. Let's not get too political.
No, I know what you mean. We could go down that route, but no. But have you incorporated other therapies into your aromatherapy practice? Like, have you done any Reiki or, I don't know, reflexology or yoga, or, everyone seems to have a little something that they incorporate into their aromatherapy. No?
Not really. No, I am I am just an aromatherapist. I knew you were going to ask me that question. I've been thinking about it. And, I've done a lot of massage techniques. I've explored massage a bit more. So no standalone treatments. I just offer aromatherapy. But I've done acupressure, deep tissue, a bit of pulsing, rocking, sort of dry techniques, and Indian head, and I've incorporated those into my treatments over the years. So for me, it's all about the oils and the massage. So my CPD has always been around really sort of just aromatherapy subjects. And it served me well.
No, that's brilliant to hear. That's brilliant. Even when I had a chat with Gabriel, as we all know, he's got a TCM background, and some people have reflexology, and I also yoga. So there's a whole thing. So, but to hear that you are a pure aromatherapy. That's all.
I don't think I was not. I practice yoga. I do yoga myself because I'm absolutely of the opinion as a therapist, as a physical therapist, as we are, that you've got to look after yourself. So yeah, yoga is a very important part of my life, but not as a practitioner. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I can understand that as well, because that was again taught to me during my training as well, that to be a therapist we have to keep fit, and I learned that very quickly as well. Probably, after doing 4 or 5 or 6 treatments a day, you're like, oh god, my back.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Posture and movement, and I don't know if you know, but I had quite a bad accident last year amongst all the COVID nonsense, and couldn't work as well as not COVID. And when I got back to working, just before Christmas, just gone, I was kind of quite angry with myself because my body, my first few treatments back. I mean, I'd been practicing on my family in the lead up, but I kind of felt a bit cross because I hadn't really, hadn't appreciated, or I felt my body had let me down. So I had to really, revisit my exercises and yoga and practice what I preach, really warm up properly before working. I'm saying that to students all the time, and there I was like, oh, okay.
Have you, apart from your bad, injury that you had last year, but while you've been practicing, have you hurt yourself at all? Like, have you? I've done my back doing that deep tissue technique, or my fingers. Like you used a bit too much.
Yeah, I think over the years, I mean, when I was taught massage, we were taught a lot of thumb work. I don't teach thumb work now, and I try not to use my thumbs as much as I did when I first started. I do more forearm work now, but yeah, I've had a frozen shoulder. I had that. I struggled with that for a few years, quite a while ago. I was able to work through it. Yeah, but I think you've just got to be really, really in tune with your body and listen to what it's telling you. But yeah, I've got a little blend of ply, marjoram, and German chamomile that is if there's any sort of achiness around my shoulder, that's my go-to. And it's quite stinky at bedtime, but
Oh, no, that's great. Smells sounds great. I'm just imagining that sounds great.
Yeah, that German chamomile is just awesome. It's like, whoa, it really does what it says on the tin, doesn't it?
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favourites, that one. The Roman's good, but it's really special. So I agree with you totally.
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously I use a lot more Roman chamomile in practice than I do German chamomile. I'm not slathering my clients in too much of the.
Yeah.
But I've just discovered blue tansy, which I'm probably late to the party on that one. But it's wonderful. It's the aromas. A little more pleasing than German chamomile, and yeah, I'm exploring that at the moment with pain and sort of analgesic properties for clients as well.
So on that note of clients that come to see you in your practice, so a lot of them, is it pain relieving that your specialty or main? I know you do a whole variety of different treatments, so it's a bit of a question really, but is it like a musculoskeletal kind of thing that people come to you for, or is it just a broad selection again?
It's very broad. As you know, I do a lot of work with pregnancy and women, so I have a big sort of cohort. My sort of main cohort of clients are female, and it's been interesting, David, for me. Obviously, when I graduated and went into aromatherapy and then started the journey into the pregnancy route with my dear friend and colleague Jill, who we worked together for years doing pregnancy and yoga and pregnancy, yoga and aromatherapy for women. And from that, I learned baby massage. Then I got pregnant, had my babies. And then obviously my children have grown. So I've looked into puberty, and then I'm getting older. So I'm very interested in menopause at the moment. And I'm really grateful because my life has sort of reflected my professional practice. Mm-hmm. And I've been able to, really, without sounding too naff, really sort of, talk from the heart about those periods of your life, getting, fertility, pregnancy, puberty with my kids, thinking about my puberty, and then menopause. So I have a lot of clients who have also travelled with me. So some of my clients have been seeing me for, well, I've been in Brighton now for nearly 18 years. And some of those clients I've been seeing for about 14, 15 years. So, we've travelled this path together. So their kids, have aged as my kids. So it's so lovely. It's so pleasing to work with that client base and sort of, roll with them. But yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of builders on my books. That's always hard work. I see men and women, but majority of my clients are female. And so it's sort of around emotional support, hormonal support. But everybody, if they come for a massage, they're like, oh, this bit hurts, or I've hurt my back gardening. There's always going to be oils to bring in that will cover that, plus the massage techniques itself, obviously.
What's your favourite massage technique that you like doing, like deep tissue or Swedish or?
I just slow, deep forearm. That's what I like, because then I can take a rest. I love. I love it all. I mean, sometimes deep tissue. I'm not an expert in deep tissue. So if someone calls me up or emails me and says, I'm looking for a sports massage, I'm like, no, then you're not. I'm not who you want. You can come and see, but I'm using the oils to support my massage, and I don't give a weak massage, I don't think. But all different techniques taken from all those lovely courses I've done over the years and sort of moulded together. Joe's massage.
You can do your own market your own patent, really, of your own massage kind of style there.
No, I don't agree with that. I think that's why I love teaching. I love come and join, come and learn.
So how long have you been teaching for now? Oh,
goodness, good question. Wow, probably, I'm going to say 2010. Oh, sorry, CPD. That's 2010, but about 2.5 years after graduating from the Tisserand Institute, I was asked to go back, and I was their essential oil therapeutics tutor for, I'm not very good with dates and numbers, I think I was there for about 4 or 5 years, so that was wonderful. So I taught essential oil therapeutics alongside Victoria Plum for 5 or 6 years. Then, unfortunately, Tisserand closed down. So then there was this big cohort that moved to Neal's Yard. I, as you know, only teach one day for Neal's Yard. I teach the pregnancy day. I've taught for Gabriel for many years. I'm one of their massage tutors, along with the most wonderful Emma Charlton. So I've worked at lots of different colleges. I've taught in Brighton, at Brighton College, and I've also taught at Morley College in South London. So I've taught all over the place. Wow. There's lots of. I hope there's lots of aromatherapists out there who go, I was taught by Joe Kellett.
Well, I'm one of them, so I can test it.
Yay! And you're yeah. So I through that work, I've had the absolute privilege of working with, Robert Tisserand taught me, and then going back and teaching on his college, which was awesome. Working with Gabriel, as I said, Emma Charlton, Victoria Plum. I've worked with some amazing aromatherapists over the years. Donna, who was also the massage tutor at IFMA for many years. We do our CPD together. It's a wonderful. It's such a lovely community. I know we all know that. We're talking to the converted, but it's such a supportive community. And I feel very privileged to be part of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant to hear, Joe. That's amazing. So with going back to oils now, what are some of your, apart from German chamomile, what are some of your go-to kind of favourites? Personal and in treatment, I suppose.
I'm sure most of people who have been taught by me will know the answer. And it's very. I'm just simple. It's the citrus and the flowers for me. They do it every time. My absolute favourite is neroli. I absolutely adore it. It's that creamy sweetness and how it can just, for me, it's that immediate. And it kind of reminds me, when I was talking earlier about my mom and the sort of lotions and creams and perfume she wore when I was growing up. I've got 3 brothers and my dad, so it was just me and my mum, and she was very feminine, my mum. So that neroli reminds me a bit of her. And then for me, the citrus, bergamot, just whatever, bring it in all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those 2 probably, but and then in practice, it's interesting. I do 2 evenings a week, and then I work 2 days a week, and not to be sort of stereotypical, but there's definitely a difference between the oils I'm choosing in the evening and the oils in the daytime for my clients.
Yeah.
So that always intrigues me, but. It's such a variety, but I have to reprimand myself every once in a while, and I'm like, come on, there are other oils, there are, we look at the spices, look at the herbs. But I'm very drawn to the woods, the flowers, and the citrus. For me, they are they're just gorgeous. It's so funny. I absolutely adore cedarwood. I prefer deodar. I prefer the Himalayan cedarwood, and knowing that Atlas cedarwood is on the sort of threatened list, it's one oil we need to be careful of and check our sourcing. But I've got so many colleagues where I work now at Tisserand, where I work for the product company, and they just don't like it. And I'm like, oh, come on, we need a bit of, let's have, if we're developing new stuff, I'm like, cedarwood, and they're like, no.
No, I love cedarwood, so I agree with you there.
Yeah, I love it. That sweetness and that sort of or the balsamic sweetness, but that's just sort of warmth. I'm doing this. It's all chest, isn't it? It's all just sort of safe and secure. I love the woods for their stability and security, and yeah.
What I find, what he was saying about, even though you might be sticking to the same group of oils, and I know what you mean, because I do the same thing, gravitate towards the same. But there's always, the whole chemotype variations in different bottles have different ones.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Even though it's the same oil, I always find, oh, this is a bit different. Where's this one from? Especially with blending, with your possibilities with that one oil and the combinations that you play with it are hundreds, if not thousands.
Absolutely. So I know. Yeah, it's like amazing, isn't it? You've got this palette in front of you.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like mixing so many different varieties that the aroma will change every time. So it's a never-ending exploring with the one oil. I find you could just play with cedarwood forever and keep mixing it. So there's nothing wrong with having a few different ones that you can play with and mix with. That's.
I mean, look at it from my client's point of view. They're nearly always going to get, very, very often. I'm very happy to bring the flowers in. I do spend a fair bit of money on rose and neroli and ylang-ylang and frankincense. It's like, which is great that I love the citrus oils because I get through those really quickly. So I'm like, oh, that's okay. They're not too expensive.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, absolutely. You got to think practically and pocket-wise as well, don't we? What are some that you don't like, or not don't like, or just?
Have trouble with. There's definitely. I'm not very good around the firs and the pines, which are trees. So it's like, but I for me, the wood oils are the hot, the heartwood I like. But so the leaves of the trees, I love eucalyptus, really love eucalyptus. But the sort of the firs, the pinacea, they're they're just too strong for me. They're too. I find that they make me feel a bit hollow. That sounds really strange, but when I smell them, I get this such a sort of strange sort of feeling. It's a bit hard to describe. Obviously, I'm totally aware of their amazing properties, but when I'm teaching and giving cat out of the bag now, when I'm teaching those oils, I do struggle to be as passionate in my enthusiasm than when I'm talking possibly about other groups. For me, the sort of the herbs and the spices are very, I'm reaching for those for very physical conditions, I find. So again, sort of coming back to my client base, I think there's a lot of sort of, emotional support. So it's great. I get to use the oils that are, resonate with me. But I mean, I wouldn't say there's. Yeah, also, I'm not very keen on the aldehydes either. I struggle with lemon. Okay. I like lemon, citrusol, and I love Mei Chang. But lemongrass and citronella, melissa, it just doesn't resonate with me. And I think that's fine. I think that's okay. I do use them, believe me. But they're not. I have to remind myself. I'm like, come on, revisit. And it's always nice to do that. It's always nice to have a little bit of a revisit and explore again. And when other people mention those oils, I'm like, okay, let's rejoin.
And I guarantee that over your career that there's been some smells that you've like our tastes change and our interest in music may change, and our smell changes as well. So I imagine that I'd be going,
possibly. I must admit I've not been that aware of that. I mean, coming back to my favourite, I've been making the same body lotion for myself for forever, and it's neroli, orange, and petitgrain, and I'm just like, yep. That's me, and my kids are like, oh yeah, there's mum. That's mum's smell, which is lovely, because that's kind of sort of following on from what I've said about my mum. But I can't really put my finger on my sense of smell changing, possibly apart from pregnancy. But what I love is meeting someone and they ask me what I do, and they're not particularly in tune with their sense of smell. They're like, oh, okay. When I start to talk about smell and what it can do and how it makes you feel, and they're like, oh, I didn't know that. And I'm just like, really? What? So that always comes as a surprise when people aren't, that people aren't aware of their. Oh look, someone said neroli, orange, petitgrain, fabulous. Yay! Yeah. It's wonderful. So sorry, I'm digressing.
No, not at all. It's wonderful. It's next time you're making that body lotion for yourself, just go. Yeah, you've got a pack there from Lisa Aromatherapy. So thanks for aromatherapy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you think about now in the future, Jo? I know we were talking about over email about your training with CBT and going online and things like that. Do you think now that's going to change the way you may?
Possibly. As I said, apart from one CPD course that I offer, they've all got a massage aspect. So they're oils and massage. So invariably, we'll look at the oils that are pertinent to that area. So, excuse me. So, for example, this weekend we're doing, as I said, back, neck, and shoulders. So we're bringing in some really sort of good TCS, analgesic oils, a couple of new ones, pink pepper, which I've just discovered, which I just love. So, that it's got to be hands-on. The one course, I probably shouldn't say this here, but the one course that potentially could go online is menopause, because it's theory-based. But again, there's so much interaction with the oils. We have the oils in the classroom. We talk about them. We make a blend. And I just haven't quite got my head around doing that online. Although I have done, through my work with Tisserand, I've done we've done online. We do online training, and we've been able to sort of send little bottles out in advance. So that's a possibility. But I'm very hopeful and optimistic. Please, that we're gonna learn to live with this virus, like other things we learn to live with, and that we will be able to come back into the classroom. I feel very, very strongly about that. But I mean, I'm doing a day online teaching for Neil's Yard in next month. So I think it's great that we've got the balance. And again, don't get me wrong. It opens training up to everybody around the world. So there's that. So we'll see. It's I don't want to be left behind. My son thinks I'm a complete dinosaur when it comes to tech. So he's my IT support. So always need a teenager in the house. So I think it's definitely food for thought. But for now, I want to get back in the classroom and be with people.
Yeah, I think that's a given in the sense because how everyone, particularly you guys in the UK, have such a long, kind of choppy road, like lockdown out, lockdown restriction, and it has to over the summer particularly, last thing you do is want to stay indoors, and I think it's about time we, as you said, have to learn to live with it in a way, taking more precautions and maybe through hand sanitizer, whatever, I don't know. Washing.
Absolutely, yeah, and we, as I said, we're still working, with PPE, and sort of, really being, what's the word I want? Totally. Oh, I can't think of the word. But really importantly, looking after ourselves and the students and the hygiene and. We've all going to be wearing masks and visors, and we'll have sanitizer. So respectful, that's the word I wanted. We're being totally respectful of COVID and what it can do. But hopefully that will get less and less as we sort of, have herd immunity through our vaccine program. If that, but we've all got to be safe, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, exactly, Jo. All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time today. It's been great chatting with you, and I really hope everything, for your CPD courses and the future, everything goes wonderful for you.
Yeah, thank you. It's not bad. I'm not complaining. As I said earlier on, I love what I do, and I feel extremely privileged and honoured that I can have a career that I'm extremely happy and fulfilled in. So, well, thank you, aromatherapy.
And aromatherapy is better off for having you in it, that's for sure.
Oh, thanks, David. You're a charmer. It's really lovely to talk to you, David. Take care.
And I will post this on the Instagram feed, so anyone who hasn't watched it now will come catch up later. And is it okay if I leave your details in the description below as well? So anyone wants to contact Jo, just check on the details that I'm pointing to that aren't there now, but they will be there soon. And that thing, this is all a bit weird doing this, but you'll
find the details.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll put all that there. Please go check out Jo's page and what courses that she runs, because they're awesome. So, and
thank you.
Thanks, Jo, and thanks to everyone for logging in today. I shall see you all again soon. All right, take care, Jo.
Cheers, David. Bye.
Bye. Bye.